Good morning, treasures, and happy Saturday morning. This is such a beautiful day today, and I hope that you all will get out and enjoy it. I just want to do a quick overview of the lesson that we had on Thursday nights, last Thursday, and I just want to give a quick shout out to the newbies that came on Thursday night. Our class was really full, so I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you joining us that night. Our class is for all of those. We meet on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. at 221 East Pauls Drive in Brandon, Florida, Suite E. Our class is designed for those that have spiritual gifts that don't know what to do with them. They just start popping up in your life. You start seeing stuff, you start sensing, you start feeling things, and you're having these prophetic dreams. So our class is a beginning stage where you can learn how to better flow in those giftings. You want to learn about those giftings, and it's a training ground. It's a safe environment where you can come and practice those giftings. That is what discovering you is all about. It is discovering the treasures that God has placed on the inside of you. And as I said, we meet every Thursday night at 7 p.m. in Brandon, and we go over the giftings. We take our time and we access those treasures because the Lord wants you to move in your giftings, but you need to know how to move in them. Some people have them and don't know what to do with them. You become frustrated because you know that God has something more for you, but you don't know where to start. So this class that we have every Thursday night, I invite you to come out, is just that place for you. If you have these giftings, you don't know what to do with them, come on out and join us. And at least you will have an inkling on what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. So I'm going to do a little excerpt of the class on the gift of prophecy that we started. And I'm very excited about this because we have a lot of prophets in our class in seed form. We have a lot of evangelists. We have a lot of exhorter giftings. We have a lot of servant giftings, mercy giftings. And you'll know more about that if hopefully I'll teach a class on that, about the foundational gifts. Those are your identity gifts. Those are how you hear God, how you see the world. So let's get started. The gift of prophecy, it says in 1 Corinthians 14:2, but he that prophesieth speaketh unto men to edification, exhortation, and comfort. Now, what we taught on Thursday night was this particular exhortation, edification, and comfort. That is the basis for biblical prophecy. If you're doing corporate prophecy or personal prophecy and it does not hit one or all three of these requirements, then it's probably not biblical prophecy. It's just maybe your opinion or your encouragement. So if you're talking about corporate prophecy or personal prophecy, it has to have these three elements: edification, exhortation, and comfort. Now, when it comes to the difference between personal prophecy and corporate prophecy, and I am no means an expert, it's just a little sister trying to give some clarity to what's going on in your life, as someone gave clarity to me and the things that I learned. So as I told the class, I want you to get out of the mindset that this gift only flows in church. We do ourselves a disservice when we think that the Spirit of God and his gifts, his anointings only flow on Sunday between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. God works after church. He works on a Monday morning in the corporate office. He works on a Saturday evening when you're out at a fellowship. He works at a baby shower. These giftings do not stop. And they are just not for Sunday morning. So I want you to get out of the mindset, as I told the class, get out of the mindset that these gifts only work on a Sunday. God is 24/7. Okay. So the gift of prophecy, we define the ministry of the prophet and the gift of prophecy. Now, this edification, exhortation, and comfort, and as I said, this is just going to be a little summary. We unpack that. What does edification mean? What does exhortation mean? And what does comfort mean? So this particular class last Thursday, we went over the term edification. So you will know when someone comes and give you a prophecy, is this the Lord or is it just them? Or is this the enemy? They have to hit all three for it to be, or some of the three requirements for it to be or qualify as a biblical prophecy. Now let's unpack edification. Edification is the act of building up. It is the act of one who promotes another's growth in Christian wisdom, happiness, or holiness. And it can also be constructive criticism and instruction that helps to build that person up. But the purpose of you building that individual up, not so just they can go and live any kind of life they want to. The purpose of edification is to build a saint up or a person up so they can become a suitable dwelling place for the Spirit of God. That is your purpose. When you're building up someone, it's like you're building putting one brick upon another, and you're building them up brick by brick. And as wise builders, because Paul says that he was a master builder. Now that term wise master builder talked about him being an apostle. But if you're not an apostle, then you can still be a wise builder to put the bricks upon the person or to build them up like they're supposed to be built up. And we just don't do it just to be doing it. We do it so that they can become a suitable dwelling place for the Spirit of God. You have a goal in mind when you're building up an individual. We have a goal in mind when we're edifying one another, when we're building them up with our words. Now, prophecy can come through any type of vehicle. God is just not restricted to words. You know, when you stand and someone says, I have a word for you, and they speak those words out. Prophecy can come through almost any kind of vehicle. It can come through liturgical worship. We have the worshipers who fly those flags, those beautiful color flags. That's prophecy because God is speaking to you. And every one of those colors means something. So on a Sunday morning, I'm looking at the color saying, okay, Lord, what is it that you want to say to the congregation this morning? Or what is it that you're telling us? Because there's blue flags, there's gold, there's purple. And also prophecy can come through the vehicle of dance. It can come through, now holy dance, now I ain't talking about the Cabbage Patch. I know that's an old one, but we're not talking about twerking either. But we're talking about Holy Ghost filled dancing. It can come through the mime. It can come through music. It can come through painting. There's prophecy. It can come through when someone speaks tongues. So prophecy can come through any vehicle. So broaden your concept. Renew your mind. Don't just think that prophecy can just come through when someone stands and give you a word from the Lord. It can come through a dream. It can come through words of knowledge. God has many ways of sending his message to his people and many ways that the Lord wants to flow. That's how we grow in this gifting, by recognizing that God is not this small, but he's vast. He's big. He can send a prophetic word any kind of way he wants to. I received a prophetic word on a car. It was driving by, and I had prayed one night, and I asked the Lord to give me an understanding of what was going on. And when I was walking one morning, and I saw a car drive by with my answer, and I knew it was God. So the Lord can send it any kind of way. Broaden your mindset of how prophecy comes, and then that way we can all grow. So back to building for a purpose. As a wise builder, we have to be careful and take heed how we build up one another. Now, just because the Lord gave you that word, or just because you dreamt it or you sensed it, does not mean that you have to do it now. We always need to pray and ask the Lord, God, when should I release this word? Or if I should release this word. So your first response to what God is revealing to you about that individual, about your boss, about your friend, about your child, is to first pray and see, okay, God, when should I give this out? And how we give it out. Because remember, we are building for a purpose so that individual can become a suitable dwelling place for the Spirit of the Lord to flow freely through their lives. So when you give a prophecy, it is also important how you give those words. And I'll give an example. One time I was at the salon, and we were under the dryer, and me and my religious self at that time, I've grown a little bit. I was giving some scriptures, and what I was saying was right. But I said it in such a mean way, in such a nasty way, that the person next to me, they recoiled. And it was a teachable moment for me. And this happened some years ago. The Spirit of the Lord allowed me to sense her recoiling back, because what I said was right. And it was biblical, but it was the way in which I said it. So as wise builders, when we edify one another, when we exhort one another, when we give prophecy, you don't have to be mean. You don't have to keep it 100 like that. Just know this. Jesus kept it 100 too, but he was never mean. He was never nasty. He didn't have a bad attitude, but he came with loving kindness. So when we build up one another, let's be wise builders. Let's edify one another in the spirit of love, because I'm sure you don't want nobody coming to you with an attitude, because Lord knows I can't receive for you if you come to me like that. So come in the spirit of meekness and humbleness and love, because God is love. There is no reason for us to be mean when you give a prophecy. I've seen these people that give these prophetic words. Yes, they're right. But the manner in which you said it, the attitude in which you said it, like you all that. Like, oh, let me tell you, you want me to, I keeps it 100. Well, so did Jesus. But he was not mean and he was not nasty. So as wise builders, we want to take heed how we build upon each other, when we build up each other, and why. So I hope that this short lesson has blessed you. Again, my name is Mayvanya, and I am the visionary and founder of Discovering You. We unearth those treasures that the Lord has placed on the inside of you. So you can join us on Thursdays. We have a free class training on Thursdays, each Thursday night at 221 East Pauls Drive in Brandon, Florida. Or you can email us for more information or visit our website. Our website is discoveryouinhim.org. We love you all. Bye, treasures. Have a wonderful day.